Hi, Christine. I'm sorry. Hi, not Emily Kaplan, stylist.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying
I
that.
should talk in my volunteer cap. I'm going to be going volunteering, so definitely give a shout out to people spending time with animals, which would be me in a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
but yeah, we. It was funny. We were posting at the exact same time. So as I'm doing my text, you're like, "Oh no!"
So I just want to say for anybody who is listening to us as an audio only podcast, we appreciate it. We're Double Defense. But just so you know, we also are on YouTube. So we have all these episodes posted on YouTube. And Christine often comes with a little lower third that describes who she is today. I am Liz. And Christine is making it very clear that she is not Emily Kaplan's stylist. And I know you all know what I'm talking about because everyone on social media was completely agreeing that Emily Kaplan was giving Pilgrim. Like, and I have to say, like, we're women who love the game of hockey. We come together every week to talk New York Rangers, NHL, PWHL. We really support women in hockey, and it's awesome that Emily Kaplan does what she does. I want to just make that very clear. But come on, please.
Yeah. Audio people can't see my face, but I'm making one.
And it's not just once in a while. Her outfits, like, they're giving like church vibes. They're giving just.
Well, typically you've kind of started to notice that she'll wear colors that are of the home team or the guest team. She's not really consistent with that. But it's more than just her clothes. I don't know what that was with the giant collar. It was a dress. It did not look like a dress. So I think she also probably wanted to get her social media picture out there to show people that it wasn't just an ugly shirt and a vesty thing, but it was an ugly dress. So, but her whole style doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I was like, it just looks like she could just take a little bit better time to just look more presentable. And I'm not knocking. Look, one of the things we're going to kind of get into talking, and I'm actually just loving it right now, are like in announcers. We've kind of had this discussion back and forth with watching some of the other games. Every team, every sport has some form of a woman announcer, field representative, or someone doing interviews and stuff. And yes, we love to see that. However, some of them they're not right fits for the job. And I don't think they add value or actually add a benefit to promoting women in sports. Emily's one of them. So I don't get what her appeal is for ESPN and having her on all the time. I really truly don't. So we blame her for
the loss. We blame her for the loss. And the Rangers did, just so everyone knows, we are recording this the evening of January 14th, which means the Rangers have finally broken their 4-game losing streak, which is very exciting.
We needed a Capitals. We need something to liven up the year. So we started at first place. We dropped down to fifth, sixth place. We're still number one in our division. Everyone is starting to catch up. Things are changing. It's getting. I'm telling you, this is where I get excited about everything. Yeah.
Well, you do get excited, but I do want to talk about what's transpired over the last week because it has not been.
I've actually been
a little painful,
myself.
and yes, and I was about to say that. Christine, again, if you listen to us on a regular basis, Christine is the eternal optimist, and we love her for that. However, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that you were a little bit frustrated and nervous over the Rangers' performance over the last couple of games.
Yeah, it's a consistent opinion with where I think they've failed, and have contributed to their losses.
Okay, so. I have to say, the defense has just looked terrible. I mean, we saw Adam Fox score 2 goals yesterday. So, I mean, great offensive playing defense, but you have to remember to play defense also. And I think that was a big issue in the last couple of games. Our friend John over at Locked On New York Rangers, was bringing up how the Rangers have this tendency that right after they score on the next shift, they will give up a goal to the other team. And he actually invited anyone to leave an audio file, like ranting about it, or giving like an explanation about it, or just kind of voicing your opinion. So I left one on behalf of double defense because I needed to vent. And he said that the next time the Rangers do it, he will start, instead of just saying something, he'll just play everyone's audio files.
I'm not necessarily agreeing with the defensive part. So I think the reason the defense looks so bad is because we're playing teams that are kind of desperate, to kind of get in there and kind of get shots at us and do stuff. And so the turnovers have been just like your meme the other day of a real apple. We talked about this on our last podcast. So it was last week. We are seeing that. My frustration has been in watching them last week is more of on the offensive side. Because I'm just seeing them take they're trying a little too hard to set up their plays and their shots, when I'm seeing them taking, like, they'll go to pass when it's wide open and they could take the shot, and they're just missing it by seconds, and they're not having their players in a good position for rebounds. And so when you see it rebound into like an easy goal and there's no one there, or they're 2 feet to the left, that's been my frustration, because it has been consistent. We were talking about inconsistencies last week, and they have been consistently not taking those shots we want to see, or at the time. I just think they're spending a little too much time. We saw that today, actually, too. They're not getting the shots off on goals. I mean, I was screaming at the TV when we had the 5-on-3. I'm like, just shoot it, because we can score. We'll get a hold of it. Like, I was just screaming at myself and the TV today, because they really weren't getting any shots. And, and again, the defense of these teams we've been playing, I have to say, have been really good. And there's a reason for it. They're all stepping up. I mean, they're coming into these games for any top team, saying that they could beat them. They have to show they can beat them, because they're grown up competitors. They're all out for one goal, and we are seeing that starting to happen now. And then listening to Lundqvist and Valley in the last couple of games and their commentary, they're kind of right too. It's kind of coming out of this new year, kind of thing, starting the year. You're starting this new stretch of getting prepared for the All-Star game. You get a break, and then it's a run for your money on things. So anyone that's in those wild card spots, we're seeing the Kraken winning, and we're playing them coming up. And we're seeing the Canucks just went, where'd they come from and where are they now? It just flew up. Oilers are winning. Kings are losing.
The Jets, the Jets have snuck into first place in Central Division. Yeah, it's a weird. It feels like it's a weird season. It feels like a little weird energy. I was just at the Panthers Devils game last night.
How did that go?
It was interesting.
Did you hear all that?
So, okay. First of all, we don't have to get too into it, but I will say the arena that they play in is absolutely beautiful. We did a mixology class. So the Panthers hosted a mixology class before the game, which really? The whole time I was there, I was like, Christine would have loved this. You got and for New York fans listening, you might want to cover your ears because this is painful to say, but for $68, you got a mixology class, which came with four drinks that we did an espresso martini, a regular martini, and like 2 other drinks, tickets to the game, and a free t-shirt. It was a good deal. I will say
they're doing well too. So
Panthers had a 9-game win streak going into this game. I was rooting for the Panthers because they were playing the New Jersey Devils. Unfortunately, they did not win. So maybe it was me. I will tell you, it was very hard to determine how many Devils fans were there because everyone was just wearing red. But I actually did see quite a few Devils jerseys. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite things when I go to a game that's not either of my teams playing, just because it's fun to check out a new arena, I like to do a count of what jerseys I spot.
This is a fun little treasure hunt that we have begun to do when we're traveling around, and as we kind of learn to explore more teams, we'll probably be doing that this week in Vegas too.
I love it. And please share that with us. If you're ever, it also gives you something to do. So I saw, and I
We
texted
really just want to
Christine.
know how many Hartford Whaler shirts you find.
I
How
saw
many are
zero
out there for real.
zero Hartford Whaler shirts and
Dang
no
it.
Quebec Nordiques because I always
Oh,
think there's
dang it.
one. Maybe I just didn't see that person. One Boston jersey, one Islanders jersey, two Coyotes jerseys, one Sabres jersey, one Wild jersey, three New York Rangers jerseys, including a very lovely old man that I met at the very end of the game who had like a satin blue New York Rangers jersey. And when he saw me, he was like, what? I'm so confused. Like, why are you wearing a Rangers jersey? I'm like, why are you wearing a Rangers jersey? Four people were wearing Jurassic Park jerseys. And I don't know if this is like a Florida thing or people just love Jurassic Park, but it was weird to see four separate people. And what I thought was super cool is there were a group of maybe 10 like young women, probably like middle school age, all wearing Hartford Wolfpack jerseys. And I'm like, what are they doing in Florida? It turns out they were the Hartford Junior Wolfpack. So it was a girls travel team that was there to see a game, which was very, very cool.
Oh, okay. And they're probably playing down there because it's a holiday weekend, which is a typical youth hockey tournament weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was super cool. So that was
It's
really,
been a while
really
since I've had those weekends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. You know, it's funny that we see now so many other jerseys because before, you know, you wouldn't really see that kind of stuff. And every once in a while, I'd ask somebody who would wear like their jersey. Typically, they would be female, and it, you know, they were brave enough to say, "Well, look, this was my player, and they're playing on this team now." So there was an association at least. And now it's like, now it's just like people are like, "Well, this is the jersey I have, so let's do it," you know. So,
or you want to show that you're supporting your team. And it is kind of like a little bit of a bonding experience when, you know, I walked by the other person in the Rangers jersey and we just gave each other high fives and we're like, go Panthers, like beat the Devils. It was like kind of a fun moment. And I think that also everyone is like finally realizing that hockey's actually really fun to go to. Even if you don't have like a dog in the race, it's still really fun to like go to a game. I know, Christine, like you were at that game in St. Louis, and I don't think the Rangers were playing, but you went, you represented.
I did. I had my scarf. So, and I
was
my
perfect.
colors. I blended a little bit. It was subtle, but yeah.
So okay, so I wore this one. So it's not a full jersey. It's the little cute, like sparkly. Yeah, not over the top. I'm saving. I have my regular jersey packed for Vegas, and we've talked about this trip because we've been so excited for so long. But the Rangers do start moving their way westward later this week, and we will be catching them in Vegas.
Yes. So, and then hopefully they'll come on a win streak. So we have we have them playing the Kraken on Tuesday, and then they'll be heading out. So
yes. And I have to say the Rangers need this road trip to go well because, like you were saying before, the Rangers had been in first place for a while. There was a lot of daylight prior to this 4-game lose streak between them and everybody else in the division. There is not a lot of daylight left. As of right now, the Hurricanes we have 56 points. The Hurricanes are 3 points behind us at 53. The Flyers, where did they come from? They were like bottom of the barrel.
And everyone's evening out on games as well too. So now that's what we're seeing too. So where we would have, you know, a couple games in hand for, you know, catching up, we don't have that anymore. So we're still in good position. So
and it's going to be.
Worry.
I'm looking at the Metropolitan Division right now. It's going to be a battle for the wild card. That's going to be, it's going to be a battle for the whole thing, except for the Blue Jackets. They kind of suck, but everybody else is ranging right now between 46 and 56 points, and anything can happen. That is a very small, narrow gap.
And we're coming back and we're getting healthy. Kako played today, which is really great to see him back in there. Mika did not play against the Blues, and he was people were thinking it was him not being there was a reason for losing. That's really, I don't see it that way. But at the same time, and I was actually talking to someone about this, who we will probably have on the future, you know, episode as a guest, was, you know, we've had so many different changes. So we're pulling up guys from Hartford. They're young, they're inexperienced, they're filling positions, you know, between day-to-day injuries and flu and things going around. So when I hear words that are being used for a loss as embarrassing or pathetic. I mean, the words are just crazy. I mean, these are, you can tell it's like the only word that some of these people know. I'm seeing, like, again, we need to even out. Getting Kako back, that it's a good thing. And so now we're getting our lines back and our people back. And I'm hoping we get a chance to kind of settle down with that and have, and even we're talking about Fox, where, he was just talking about, he's been back for a while, but he's just feeling better now. And look at what he's been doing. He's been kind of holding down the show right now. And so, it's an interesting question. Like, does it take time for some of these guys to come back? Is there a little bit of nervousness or a little bit of doubt or hesitation on anything, that's creating, some of the hesitation I'm seeing on the offensive zone, for things. And I was glad to see the win for Igor today, because everyone was kind of saying that people like Quick better. And there's no difference. I don't see them defending Quick more or Igor less. Igor made some amazing saves. One when he went down, I think I hurt myself just watching him do that. I was like, that split thing he did was amazing. The chant, went crazy after that. So amazing saves. He's fine. He's fine. Again, we're seeing a lot of people complain, just as they did last year. He's not as good. He's not as good. And yet last year he had the best record he ever did. We're only halfway through, people. Let everybody get their adjustments. And then when the play is going to get better. We're seeing it get better, and we're going to adjust, and and we're going to have bad games, and we're going to have good games, and we're going to enjoy them all. And that's what I look forward to doing. Now all we need them to do is to shoot. I say defense is one thing, but the only way we're going to win is when we score goals, and when we get 40 shots off and we can't score, they're terrible shots.
Well, they're terrible shots. I mean, they're hitting these things it'll either go wide or like straight into the center of the goalie's chest. Like, it is. Yeah, there's definitely there's some frustration there. I remember, was it last year at the beginning of the year that all we did was just hit the post? I'm not even seeing like a lot of post shots.
We are. The other day it was post. We got to know they're there. Trust me. So it's more like it's what I'm seeing more is that they really are just trying to make the plays instead of just taking the opportunities. There was a couple moments where Panarin was doing the same thing, kind of coming in the zone, and instead of taking a shot, he's waiting and he's passing. So you just hesitated, and and I know the hesitation in doing the shots, because then you don't want this unnecessary turnover, which again we're seeing bad passes, and and their giveaways, and then we're getting odd man rushes. That the other day, Igor was just like, screw it. Like, that's just what I felt. Yeah. Like, I'm over this. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the teams that are like just becoming the ones that are most annoying for the Rangers are the ones that play like the Capitals do, where it's just very much like in your face. Like the Rangers are trying to be super fancy.
Downright dirty.
Yeah, totally. It didn't help that Lindgren's brother in goal was pretty freaking good.
And he got the third player of the game today too.
Yeah, people on Twitter were like, "Can he please chill out for the third period?" Because, I mean, I love to see that.
Have him over. Why can't we have brothers together on a team? Come on, we can use 3 amazing goalies.
Totally. But yeah, I think it's those teams that play like really physical that just kind of like seem to dismantle the Rangers, because I think the Rangers are a team much more of like skill and nuance than that big physicality. And they like, if they keep passing, someone's just going to interrupt the play and take the puck away. Although
that's coming. Just wait. I mean, that's coming. That's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see this week, again, especially with the Kings, and if the Kings are losing, they're going to be grumpy. So, yeah, I mean, this is where on the East Coast, like our Southern California East Coast teams, like they're all, let me just say, like, you got Vegas, who's kind of dropped off the top, and they're really good. And then they come right into the Kings game, which Kings are just downright physical with everything they do. And then you got to go into the Ducks, who are in the bottom of the dog pile here, but they have Gudas, and he's the West Coast, Wilson. So let's see. And yet he's a fan favorite. So I'm curious to see how this next week's going to go. And yeah, and they already know, I think, that they have to up their physicality and stuff. And I mean, we're seeing that too, but you're going to start seeing this race and desperation set in for these other teams. So I'm going to, the exciting games are going to be these wild card, contender teams. And then bragging rights. I mean, when you're the lower team and you can beat one of these better teams, then you have some kind of a bragging right, to at least kind of get you going on stuff.
Totally. And I think, and I think as we get a little bit further after the All-Star break, the tri-state area is going to start getting crazy because we play the Devils like 3 times, the Islanders, like it's going to start getting really intense, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens, as the trade deadline sort of approaches, because if you look on social media, especially Twitter, they're basically trading the entire team. Like people have just given away everybody.
Yeah, so there's a couple that are in there that, really aren't doing anything for our team. So we'll kind of get more into that as it gets closer. Because again, I think we have a couple good guests that can kind of jump in on this conversation. And I think we're all kind of on the same page with these, with these guys. And yeah, it's all going to happen so fast.
Totally. And I will not talk about Miller. I will not talk about Miller. I will not talk about Miller. Other than the fact that people are starting to agree with me. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to say is finally Twitter. I've seen a couple of comments where it's like, but it's weird. It's like something is up with him. I'm telling you, this is not me talking shit. There is something up with him, and I don't know how that bodes for his time on the Rangers. That's all I'm saying.
I guess we'll have to see. And now with kind of Fox back, that give them a couple games where they can get the momentum together, and on their lines, and then just to kind of see what I don't know. I mean, with Kako back today, I'm excited because that means we get to see him. So it's good, and we want everybody else back. So I mean, it'd be nice to see some updates on Hedel and making sure we kind of stay. The black eyes have faded. The fat lip has gone back down to regular size. I'm thankful that we don't look like war victims just a week ago. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. We are not the only ones going up and down. So everything's really shifting. Again, it makes it very, very exciting. And so so that that's what's going to be great. Now here I have a big question, because this is what's coming up as we are heading into our own little mini road trip, local road trip, so to speak. The big question I have is, because right now the Kings tickets are crazy, and I'm going to have mine. I'll have ours by today. I think everybody's anticipating the return of Quick. So we have back-to-back games. You got Quick in the house. Do you think that Laviolette's going to play him against the Kings on Saturday? This would be an interesting question, because typically you would see Igor against the Kings. You would see Quick against the Ducks.
I think you're going to see Igor against Vegas and Quick against the Kings. Yes, that would be my prediction.
I think it's just for show. Well, both of them are good contenders, but that's you would.
Because don't forget, he's like, no one is going to know that arena and that ice better than him, and nobody's going to know that team better than him.
Yeah.
So unless there's some kind of but maybe that's what Laviolette wants you to think. That is my prediction. Do you feel the same way, or do you feel
that's what everybody that's selling their tickets thinks is going to happen? I'm like,
yeah, it must be.
What's happening here? But definitely. So as we go into the week, aside from our West Coast road trip, where this is where Liz and I, not only did we meet, but this is where we have our chance to just go, all out for the weekend and have as much fun as we can. We'll be exhausted. Hopefully we all survive. There's a big group of us and stuff, going back and forth to all the different games. It'll be fun. And then
you don't get lost
in
Vegas
for the next week. Air tag. So yeah, I go with a buddy. So I have my buddy I'm going with, so that I don't get lost this time. And we're staying a little closer too. So So we're definitely looking forward to that. That is this week, actually. So that's going to be exciting.
And again, yeah, I just want to say, please hit us up on social media. Leave us a comment on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and let us know if you guys are going to be in Vegas or LA. We would love to see you.
Yeah, in Vegas, we're definitely meeting at the Beer House. At 3:00 before the game. So if anyone's listening to this and you are in the area, feel free to come and join us. That would be fantastic. We have anywhere from 10 to 40 people that should be meeting us there.
Yes. So, and we'll make, and we always, and I feel like we always make a lot more new friends
exactly.
when
people
we're there.
Find us there. That's what happened last time too. So I expect it will happen.
And let me ask, so speaking of styles and outfits, what is going to be your attire for the Kings game? Because I'm traveling right now, so I have to admit I only have one. I have this jersey, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to do my regular. I'm doing my regular blue Kreider jersey.
See, what we will need for next year is something really sparkly to match Vegas for Vegas.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. Again, it's Star Wars night on Saturday. Right now, I was just thinking more, like, so I don't know because I'm cold, and so I don't know. Again, I have a whole wardrobe. I have my jersey. I have my third jersey, which I think we're 4-0 wearing our third jerseys.
The third jersey, and I thought it looked spectacular today when they were playing. I thought it looked absolutely beautiful.
I have that.
The color
too.
is nice. Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to wear that out. So yeah, I mean, I'll have my wardrobe. It'll be 3 different shirts.
You know what I'll tell you that I'm not going to be wearing is the All-Star jersey. I don't know. Did you see, Christine, that it was
ugly.
leaked? It's not just ugly. I'm sorry. Last year's was ugly. This is awful. I think I read somewhere it's like Justin Bieber's. It's like Justin Bieber's. His clothing label or something. If anybody who's listening has not seen it, I'm just going to try to, I'll show it on my phone.
You know what it reminds me of? But Google. When the camera pans on them and they spit, on the ice. Like, it looks like someone got a picture of whatever that spit splat would look like, and that's what they used to design the shirt.
Like the Blob. And somebody else pointed out it's the same star as the Carl's Jr., the fast food chain. So it's giving spit. It's giving Carl's Jr. The colors are awful. Yeah, okay. There's red there's Pacific is red, Atlantic is blue, Metropolitan is white, which I'm sorry, like I don't want to wear a white jersey. It's going to get messy. And then Central is gold, which is like all blends into the same picture of the star. I'm sure you can't see it on here, but Google it.
It flashes. You have to add it to our story so we can let people vote. Yes, no. On that, we'd love to hear your opinion on that, which is a great poll vote to put out on our story for that as it comes up. I wonder too. We haven't seen any. White. First of all, white. The Kings did it on an outdoor Winter Classic game, and they looked like Oompa Loompas because it kind of just blended in with everything. So it's one thing to see it there. It's another thing when you see everybody wearing it, and together and what they do with it. We are seeing things getting more and more flashy. So this is also getting exciting as we go into our outdoor game, which is happening in February. Then we go into the All-Star game at the end of February, and everyone's getting fancy. I mean, you got a top throwing fish, right? And exactly. and so how are they going to do that? That's now there's a benchmark, and it's throwing fish. So
let me ask you this, Christine. Speaking of jerseys, is there, after the Rangers, do you have a favorite jersey? Not team that you like, but is there like a jersey that you've seen that really stands out from another team that you like? Like, I thought Vegas was pretty cool. They have these. Glitter. Yeah, it's very glittery. Like when you see the actual like gold jersey up close, it's a super glittery fabric that looks really beautiful.
I have to think about that. I just don't know off of it. But Vegas, I've always given credit for ever since they started, for their marketing and for everything, And so if you wanted Vegas Golden Knights, I remember going there when they first started, and we were getting glitter donuts and stuff. So if they probably have Golden Knights tea bags, and coffee bags and just all sparkly glitter stuff. Marketing is genius there, and no one has yet to top that. The Kraken are fun with their designs and stuff and colors. So I've always, these are teams in Vegas. I'll never not give kudos to Vegas for their Twitter is hilarious.
Oh, good,
and they're fun, and they have a good sense of humor about things. And so I wish more of the teams did, and they had better representation. In fact, I haven't been on Twitter a lot, but we used to have Rangers Rabbi and Rangers Jesus. So maybe you can check those and see what they're saying. Those were very entertaining, and I wish they could bring them over, to other forms of media. But they were always really fun too to kind of follow, especially Rangers Rabbi. That was some good stuff there. So. And then we have our outdoor game. So I wonder if they're going to have jerseys for that. So we haven't seen anything on that, and that one's coming up pretty quickly. So we'll kind of see how that's going too. So a lot more. Someone just
football. I know football is happening.
Well, no, it's New York, Minnesota, the women's game. I think they're in the third period right now. So they're playing right now. So we're into the second week of the PWHL, which has still been fantastic.
Totally.
They've gotten to do a whole round of things. We're going to start, I'm posting game day information on stuff. You can still watch all the games on YouTube for free. It's been fantastic. I turned it on a little early because I got mixed up with the time zones. And you see, they had over 1,000 people just waiting to watch this game. And then you have them filling out. I think they've been selling out their home game tickets, and I think they sold out their first week. And then I saw people complaining that they couldn't sell out UBS Arena. But so what?
Hey, I hate to say it, I don't think the Islanders are selling out UBS Arena. So
exactly that too. And our friend Sarah. Our other friend Sarah that I met at the Ducks game last year, I'm going to just give her props out because she's been fantastic. She's on her honeymoon, or she was last week in New York, went to the Rangers game for her first time, watched them lose last Monday, but went to Molly Wee's, met Larry, and I told her to go for the players. She posted pictures of a player. She met a couple of them. So she was having a great time. She went to the women's game and posted pictures from that. She said it was fantastic. So I'm glad that she was able to get over there and get to two different events at least and enjoy it. And Sarah will hopefully be seeing you at the Ducks game on Sunday again, which is where we met. I know exactly where I met her.
So cool. And just really quick, we'll do a quick PWHL standings. As you know, there are 6 teams, Minnesota, Montreal, Ottawa, New York, Toronto, and Boston. And that is the order of the standings right now. We have Minnesota in first place. We have Boston in last place. I like any league that Boston is in last place. And New York is sitting at 4th right now. But everybody's played a different amount of games. We're still quite early in the process, and it has been really fun to watch. The teams are really good. It's a physical game. It's a fast game. It's great.
There's controversy in every game too. I did not see the games yesterday, but apparently there was some, there was an overtime, and there was a quick goal and an overturn of the goal due to goalie interference. And so it's pretty amazing that you're seeing just this first week, but yet every single scenario has occurred, since the game started and where they're going. So if you're thinking that it's not a good level or quality game to watch, you are mistaken. There are fights, there are penalties, there's odd man rushes, there's post hits. I mean, that's what I just kind of, my attention was drawn because there was a dink in a post hit, and they're getting it too, and they're getting overturned goals. Just everything's happening. Earlier in this game, it's New York versus Minnesota right now, and New York just fought off a 5-on-3, penalty. So, so that was really kind of fun to watch. Let me just tell you something. Like, the women announcers and the women I'm listening to when I'm watching these games are not Emily Kaplan, and they're fantastic. I'm actually enjoying everything about them, and you've got a mix of women and men doing, the correspondence here on ice and within the coaching and the reffing. And right now, the other thing, if you follow them, we're starting to see an enormous amount of sponsorships coming their way. So
Yeah.
this league is just flying through stuff. Someone just scored. I can't see it. It's like just tilted enough where I can't see it. I can just hear some stuff. So,
well, we will have to be tracking that all of this week.
We are
coming up to.
So on the stories, I definitely am posting game times. Just keep in mind, I thought it was 3:00 Eastern time, and they're in Minnesota, so it's Central time, which is fine. I just had to wait a little bit. So their game's finishing now. Again, they have an abbreviated schedule, so they're playing almost every day around similar times as NHL games. If you have picture-in-picture, watch both games. If not, just flip it over to your YouTube between intermissions. Get a glimpse of it if you're not watching it. I am putting some feelers out. Minnesota seems to be the favorite amongst our women of the ladies of the NHL page. I put kind of a question out there. So Minnesota seems to be the fan favorite team still, and they're in first place. I think next is Boston and New York. So Canadians, step up. I want to hear from you too and see what you guys are thinking of these fantastic women. And we're 2 weeks into this and seeing how it goes.
Awesome.
It's fun.
Well, on that note, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we will see you in Vegas or LA or on social media or, here on YouTube.
It's short today, but we'll have a lot to talk about next time when we're back, so we can give you a roundup on our adventures to 3 games in 4 days in 2 states and 3 cities. I think we have that, right? And if we can survive without getting lost, found somewhere where we shouldn't be. And let's see if we can all remember everything we've done.
And hey, let's get 3 wins.
And let's get 3 wins.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's go Rangers.
Until next week, guys. Go Rangers.